sign.
What's happening? I don't have power. Can you hear me?
You know when you tell me to go steady, I'm not going to go steady.
Yeah.
Go on. Get it, girl. Get it. Get in there, Lewis. Fantastic weekend all round. Really, really solid.
Great job, everyone. What a weekend.
Welcome. Fuck you, man. Welcome to the SGSB podcast. I'm John.
Oh, and he missed it.
Oh,
he missed it.
Oh, Vince.
I'm Braden.
There we go. that one's staying. I mean, we're just gonna.
That was the best intro in podcast history.
Welcome,
everybody.
We're gonna keep that one.
Vince has been drinking a $500 bottle of tequila.
Vince has been drinking a lot of tequila, and it's to be specific, it's a handle of Don Julio 1942. Which
We'll give you a second. You can pause. You can Google that and see how much that bottle of tequila costs.
You could Google it, or we could just tell you. Braden, how much is that bottle of tequila?
It's a $500 bottle of tequila.
It is not.
It apparently, according to the internet, it is. And
According to the internet, it is.
And it was a gift. Now, if you want to get,
he says it was a gift.
He says it was a gift. Now, any of our listeners, I'm going to ask this to you, Braden, and then I'll answer it myself. Have you ever been gifted a bottle of liquor more than, say, $100?
No.
Okay, me either.
I have been gifted 2 bottles of liquor in my life. One were 60 and one was 85.
I was once gifted I think it was a 16-year-old Lagavulin, which was a very nice gift from a previous coworker.
Yeah.
But other than that, no.
John, you used to drink a lot of liquor in my apartment.
Yeah, but you didn't gift me a $500 bottle. I'm not saying you weren't
we were
generous.
drinking like 20-odd-year-old scotch.
What 20-year-old scotch did we drink at your apartment?
Most of it.
Oh. Well.
Most of it, specific.
Well, fucking send a bottle my way. I'm always down for a good scotch. Yeah, just gift one over to me, because that's a thing, apparently.
Don't waste that on me.
We're gonna.
I got a couple Cubans I was given too.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna throw this out there. This is a struggle for me, boys. I don't want to be here right now.
Yeah.
Mainly my alcohol explains where I want to be.
No, it's France week. It's the French GP, and currently at this exact moment there is a semifinal hockey game going on. In the
it's like game 1.
It's game 1, but it's also in the city that I live in, and it's.
Why aren't you at the game?
Yeah, I actually could be. It's full capacity over there. There's actual fans.
Oh my god.
I know people that are at the game tonight. Instead, I have to sit here and talk about this boring ass race that we're about to be subject to.
No. I think you just didn't want to buy the tickets.
The most exciting race.
Well, no, I wouldn't.
A triple header.
I wouldn't have been at the stadium. I would have been at the bar down the street from me watching the game with all the other people there. So,
is there going to be some ladies?
What?
Is there going to be ladies?
No, not at the
peanut butter and ladies.
The PT's Ranch off of Blue Diamond. If you ever find yourself in Vegas, here you go. The vacation podcast.
Yeah. The travel podcast.
The travel podcast. If you ever find yourself in Vegas and you're on Blue Diamond Road for some reason and you're at the PT's Ranch, I can guarantee you one of 2 scenarios. Either A, you're going to be the only person in the bar aside from the one bartender that works there. Shout out Shannon. Or B, it's going to be a hockey game, and you're going to see at least 7 people all over the age of 50 years old that are absolutely fall down drunk.
Not a hot spot then, is it?
No, but the thing is,
not the hottest spot in Vegas.
I once, this is not a proud moment, I once tried to fist bump a guy who had one arm. And it was
nice, dude.
It was not the right angle for, it was not an appropriate moment for that.
Good
I
job.
thought you were gonna say you fisted a one-armed woman. I was like, God damn.
No, I don't live in North Dakota. That might be more common.
I think they're more prevalent in Vegas.
Maybe there's a lot of, but yeah, that bar is full of people that are just absolutely bizarre.
Is that where you watch Caps games?
Yeah, actually. I mean,
Nice.
I literally go out from my house. It's like I could leave my garage and be at that bar in probably less than an actual minute.
Nice.
It's fantastic. So
Yeah.
that's where I go. I'm friends with the bartender. She's super cool. She hooks me up, and
Yo, hey Shannon, put the Caps game on.
and she'll like, if I'm one of the only people in there that's actually watching a sport or a game or whatever, she'll be like, do you want the audio in the bar too? I'm like, hell yeah. And she's like,
Hell
all right,
yeah.
I got you. So she'll play bar audio and the whole thing. There was one time nobody was watching sports, and these 2 guys came in. They're like, we want to watch the History Channel. And she literally threw on the History Channel on every TV
Nice.
with the audio in the bar. So
Wow.
good local spot. Good.
There you go.
know, yeah, it's
Sounds like a Judy's Tavern of Las Vegas.
Oh yeah.
I get a TV remote every time I go into that bar.
Jesus.
Yeah, I don't get a TV remote. I could probably ask for one though, honestly.
He just gets Shannon to do his dirty work.
Yeah.
Shannon's rad.
It's 2021, John. You need to do your own work.
I will tell you what though, I have never met a bartender in my life that has a memory like this chick does. Not only will she remember what you drank, you could go in there one time and come back like a month later, and she'll remember what you were drinking, what you were wearing, where you sat, like everything.
I'm gonna guess, going off of the context clues that you have given how there are no more than 7 people in there at one time. It's probably pretty easy to remember the face of one dude wearing a Caps jersey coming in.
Well, I only bring this up because I went in there one time with Barbie, and it was like she was wearing a certain shirt, and it was like a Pepsi shirt or whatever. And then we really only went in there like once, and Shannon was there, and she she gave us drinks and all that. And I went back like forever later, and she was like, "Oh, where's the one girl that was drinking this in the Pepsi shirt?" I'm like, "How the fuck do you remember that?" Like,
You sorcerer.
Look, I left this
I
bar
can't
up
even-
here for 2 years, and they still remembered my nickname.
well, I'm sure it's because you make a spectacle out of yourself everywhere you go.
No,
Yeah.
it's not true.
Drinking Judy Tavern special $2 Busch Light Tall Boys.
Actually, didn't you meet who was the boxer was that in Judy's? Did you meet?
Yeah, Virgil Hill.
Yeah.
I met Virgil Hill, former heavyweight champion of the world.
Fuck is Virgil Hill?
And I met Matt Green, the hockey player.
Oh yeah. But that's North Dakota UND. That's not that surprising.
Oh yeah. American former professional boxer.
Virgil Hill, baby.
Okay.
Shout out to the champ, baby.
If you're new to this podcast, welcome.
Welcome. Hello.
We're 10 minutes in, and we really haven't talked anything Formula One related, but that's kind of a little bit par for the course.
A little
That's
bit.
an indication
especially-
of how much I really want to actually talk F1.
If you're new for the let's say the less interesting tracks on the calendar for our race previews.
Yep.
Usually we've been thinking about moonlighting as a travel podcast. If you haven't figured that out yet, a couple podcasts ago we talked about Maryland and everything swell about Baltimore and Annapolis and where to go and not to go. John is drinking the USA can Budweiser. Vince is flexing his $500 bottle of tequila. And just because everybody else is doing it, but everybody else is stupid green screens, you'll actually be able to see mine. I'm drinking a truly hard seltzer raspberry tea.
By the way, we are not sponsored by anybody right now. So this isn't even an ad. This is just a demonstration of how much we do not want to talk about the French GP, because let's say you're a new listener, you're a new fan to Formula One, you watch Drive to Survive over the last, off season, and you were like, wow, this seems like a really cool, really exciting sport. And then you come in and you get blasted in the face by a couple of really good races this season. It's super competitive between Max and Lewis and all this stuff. And then there's a bombshell coming. And that bombshell that's going to quite literally bore you to sleep is France.
Is the French GP. Yeah. When you watched Drive to Survive last year and everything was exciting and hyped up and everything, it was because they didn't go to France.
I didn't think they once even mentioned the race.
I have not been to France since 2019.
Yep. And you know what? We're all better off for it.
We were raving about it back then when it was first canceled, and we're still raving about it pretty much now. All over F1 Twitter is, yeah, this sucks that we're about to go into France, but it's the only good thing coming from it is it's a triple header. So unlike the first couple of weeks, first month or two of the season, actually, them weird breaks. So there was one break where we had 3 weeks off because whose fucking idea was that?
First race and then a break.
Yeah. And then it was the spring break all over again. But going into a triple header is about the only good thing that I can say about going into France. I don't want to talk about France so little now. I want to just go about newsy stuff that happened in the week break that we had between the last race and now when we're recording this on Monday night.
Sounds good.
That's actually a really good move, because I actually have newsy things to talk about and our favorite wild speculation.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. Do you want to start it off, John?
Yeah. Do you want to ease into it, or do you want to just go full bore?
No, let's fuck Vince. Let's ease into it real quick because I have other motorsport stuff to talk about real quick.
Well, I do too.
I know what that is about.
I was working over the weekend, and somebody asked me, they were like, "Oh, like, do you have anything to do over the weekend while you're, here?" I was like, well, there's no racing this weekend, so I don't really have much to, usually I just watch racing on the weekends. And then I was like, wait a minute.
Hold up.
There's a thing called IndyCar.
There is. Formula One's strange stepsister.
It's open wheeled, but so IndyCar was in Detroit.
The untrained eye, cars look exactly the same.
Except
open wheel, single seater, big wing, big front wing, big rear wing.
Yep. But it's and they also use V6s and whatever. Yeah. So the sound's kind of the same and whatnot. Although I did see, and this is kind of a side tangent, I did see that somebody said over the weekend that Indy cars, when they're at full volume, are 140 decibels.
I believe that. I've been to an IndyCar race. They're loud as fuck.
So why are they?
NASCAR is also loud as fuck. I wouldn't be surprised if NASCAR is louder, which
that
straight
makes
piped
sense.
American V8s, that makes sense. But IndyCar is loud.
So I kind of I looked at that. I was like, okay, a jet taking off is less than 140 decibels.
Really?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Like afterburner and everything? No way.
Well, not a fighter jet, like a normal people jet.
Like a fucking jet takeoff at 25 meters is 150 decibels.
Oh, is it?
Aircraft carrier 140, aircraft carrier deck, military jet aircraft 130.
Okay, well that's military.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. So still loud. Military jet aircraft is under the decibel-o-meter of a IndyCar.
So if they both use V6s with turbos on them, why are the IndyCar ones so fucking loud?
Because they're 2.2 liters instead of 1.6.
1.6.
And there's some sort of other restriction that F1 has to have to
Oh, it might be
environmentally friendly.
Oh, you know what? Now that I think about it, it might be the MGUH. Anyways, this isn't very exciting podcast information.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a race this weekend. They did a doubleheader in Detroit, and we're only mentioning it because Marcus Ericsson won
Everyone's
a race
favorite former Swedish F1 driver
that drove
won
for
his
Sauber.
first. That drove for Sauber, yeah. Won his first IndyCar race and his third year.
I think they said it was
Second.
Is it second year?
Second.
Was he a rookie?
Quick Google, give me a second.
But yeah, so he
Right,
won the
second.
race. I don't know. You ended up watching the race, right, Braden?
I did end up watching the race, yeah.
Vince, did you watch it?
Mm-hmm.
So at the end, when they
It's his third year.
Mm.
He first raced in the 2019 Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg.
Interesting. But Marcus Ericsson won that race, ironically, because Romain Grosjean threw his car into the wall.
Yes, because Romain Grosjean, another former F1 driver, put it into the wall on the final 2 laps.
And the irony is super thick on that one. But the way he won it is they red flagged the race to clean up the wreckage.
Yep.
And then the guy that was in the lead, can't think of his name right now.
Willpower.
Could not get his car restarted after the red flag. They shut it down.
Those Indy cars are notoriously difficult to restart after they've gotten warm.
Yeah, well, apparently it was like
that happens a lot.
Super hot that weekend, but
yeah.
He's at the end of the pit lane. They can't get the car going. They got the starter in there and whatnot, and everybody's going around him, and that was the end of his race with 3 laps to go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Craziness. It's actually pretty good racing.
IndyCar's been a lot more entertaining, I gotta say, in that this is why I hope that the new rules in Formula One make it to what IndyCar is.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's a backhanded compliment or backhanded remark against F1 is it makes it finally raceable again. It makes it entertaining. Anyone can win. I mean, Pato O'Rourke. I mean, Marcus Ericsson.
To put it in perspective, they've had 7 races in 7 different countries, and they've had 7 different winners in IndyCar.
Yep.
Exactly. And I think that's what I hope these new regulations with F1 create. Because make the chassis the same, really relegate that, and then it's just engine power, right? And in F1 or in IndyCar, it's only Chevys and Hondas.
Yeah, Chevy and Honda. The chassis is the same. They can change aero tweaks, front, rear wing, and everything.
Right,
and set up
it's
the
all
car.
Dallara.
Yeah,
I think
it's
really,
largely spec.
It's essentially Formula 2.
Right, but I think it really puts it back on the driver.
Yeah, it does, 100%.
Which
does,
a spec series does.
Yeah.
Well, and I hope that's what we get from F1 next year. Now, this year, holy shit. I mean, if the car is that good with Red Bull,
it's still a close championship. It's still
a close championship, but the trajectory or the trend right now is still pointing towards Red Bull, in my opinion.
Well, you hinted at it earlier, Vince. Is just to wrap up IndyCars. Pato O'Rourke, he's a McLaren IndyCar driver.
Yeah.
Zach Brown has sung Pato O'Rourke's praises, and he wants there to be a straight feeder option from IndyCar to F1 if drivers so choose. And so Pato O'Rourke, he won the second race on Sunday. That was the race that Romain Grosjean was on fire again. Not as seriously as he was last year, but he did catch on fire.
It didn't even reach the cockpit.
He caught on fire. He had to go grab the fire extinguisher from the marshals, and he went to go put out his own car that was on fire. But yeah, Pato Award, McLaren IndyCar driver Zach Brown has sung in praises. He wants him to have a McLaren test at some point in the future.
And he's going to replace Ricciardo next year.
No,
possibly,
that's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen, but K-Mag also won his first race this weekend. IMSA was at Detroit, and K-Mag won his first race
in the Cadillac.
In the Cadillac.
Chip Ganassi Racing.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, I mean,
I'm just saying Danny Rick's out.
He's not out at the end of this year. He's not.
You're wrong.
I don't think he is.
Yeah, he's out.
I'll take that bet.
We're not doing any more bets on this podcast. We have too many to fucking keep track of.
That's also.
Yeah, I was gonna say, John, you're
very...
losing all of the bets right now. So,
but I'll win that one.
Moving swiftly on.
Moving on. That was a really long-winded thing about IndyCar.
Yeah.
If you waffling
on races where F1 aren't on and you want some racing action, if you can watch IndyCar, I recommend it. It's good racing.
Yeah,
there's a lot more pit stops. There's a lot more strategy that comes into play than in F1 half the time.
I do have a beef though. The only thing
that?
IndyCar has horrible coverage.
It does.
It's awful. Like we get so used to watching racing, like because I watch MotoGP, I watch F2 and F1.
We are so blessed with non-commercial impact.
Non-commercial fucking racing. I can't stand 3 laps and then we can watch this commercial about Honda. Yeah. And it's like they put the race on the smallest.
It's either Honda or some like
fucking
life insurance, dick pills. I mean, fucking old bullshit.
Liberty Mutual,
Amazon
fucking...
seen packages, having ass motherfuckers. It's terrible coverage.
It is.
I mean,
it's
Jesus
terrible.
Fucking Christ. Stevie Wonder could pick out a better pitcher than those guys could.
I would actually say that IndyCar coverage or American racing coverage is so bad that it actually deters me from watching American racing series.
That used to be our F1 coverage.
That is true.
F1 used to be on NBCSN.
No, it used to be on Speed.
Well, okay, yeah. Back in the day, it used to be on Speed. Yeah.
When Vince would DVR Speed so he could watch the F1 races.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, he still does that.
Yeah.
No. I'm gonna get more into actual F1 news though.
Let's go to F1 news stuff. Yeah.
So the Williams Formula One team. They have made a change in management.
They did a thing. And I don't understand exactly how relevant this is. But the Williams team principal is leaving immediately. Simon Roberts, effective immediately, yep.
Yep. And Jost Capito is taking over the team principal. He's already the CEO. This is a Duralton Capital move.
Streamlining the management structure.
Now, I looked into Jost Capito.
Too many hands in the cookie jar at Williams.
I looked into, and that makes sense because it seemed like it was that way when Claire Williams was in charge. So
right, yeah.
I think they're just moving in their own management and making changes to the structure, which makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But Jost Capito very, very, very briefly managed part of the McLaren team.
Did he?
He did. It was not long, but he did.
You're right. I think I read that. He's mainly known for he ran Volkswagen Motorsports Group
he ran the World Rally portion of Volkswagen.
Yeah.
So, and he was dominant there. He was
fucking killed it. Yeah.
The drivers and constructors championship, super good. He's been in motorsport since '85. I mean, in 2016 he was supposed to join with McLaren. So he's been around. He's been around the block. This is not somebody at Doralton or Dorito Capital,
right?
That knows nothing about racing and is just like, well, I'll do it. I'll be the team principal. So they obviously must think that he's capable.
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw this story and I looked at it and I was like, it was one of those things. Like, is this actually significant or is it a non-story?
I think it's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Yeah,
I think that Williams has obviously, since the Doralton Capitol takeover, their whole mantra has been, we're going to get Williams back to the front of the grid where they belong. Williams hasn't won a race since 2012. We all know that they were at the back of the pack fucking 2019 and 2020. They were sucking balls. And this is just so in that case, since, if you want to throw this in there, since Doralton Capital is a U.S. backed firm, Liberty Media is an American media company that owns F1 now or has the broadcasting rights to F1 now, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's in a sense of bringing the Williams, which is a big name in F1, in a sense of bringing their name back to the glory. Yeah, it's a relevant story.
Mm-hmm.
In a sense that we're leading up to the most boring race weekend of the weekend. It's a non-story, time filler, fluff story, gesundheit.
Thank you.
To fill some internet zeros and ones. So,
yeah, I don't know. I think it probably could be meaningful, but it also could be one of those things that
it's on my list of things to talk about. So clearly, it's something that is catching the eyes of F1 fans and, dare I say, amateur journalists that are talking about Formula One on the internet. So,
well, we're not amateurs at all. We've been doing this for years.
We are professional journal. We're going to get that journalism tag, and then we're going to lose it probably in about 5 or 10 minutes.
Hell yeah!
I want my silver Italian fox back. Arriva Bene.
Yeah, I want Arriva Bene back too.
I do want that back. Well, I threw out one. What do you got for me, Braden?
I want to touch a little bit back on the Baku GP here real quick, and I want to throw some shade. It's shade throwing time.
Oh.
Fuck you, Auto Week.
Oh, boy.
For being a bunch of little Hamilton fanboy piss babies after publishing an article titled Blame the Americans for Pivotal Standing Restart in F1 Azerbaijan GP.
Wait, they fucking said that?
I'll show it right on the screen.
Blame us?
Yeah, all I see is Hakba.
Well,
yeah, you can't see that. But yeah, so
what the fuck did we do?
So Auto Week said that the standing restart was something that was idiotic.
Yeah, I'll read to you quotes from the article. I'll give you a synopsis here. Should Lewis Hamilton finish within a few points of winning the 2021 Drivers' Championship, he'll probably point the finger at himself, remembering the time that he locked up his brakes on a restart in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. The lockup came diving into turn 1 following a rare standing restart on lap 50 of the 51-lap race. It was a restart that didn't have to come in the form of a chaotic, exciting standing restart. F1 officials had options. The race could have ended behind a safety car. Race could have ended up with a rolling restart. Races stopped by the red flag have resulted in races being deemed complete short of the scheduled number of laps. This is where I really take beef. Had the officials called for a rolling restart behind a safety car, Hamilton is less likely to lock up going into turn 1.
With if and buts, my aunt would be my uncle.
The famous Vince quotes, if ifs and buts, his aunt would be his uncle. This is a bunch of fucking...
Oh, no. Even as me as a Hamilton fan, are you fucking kidding me?
No, I know. 100%.
No. I mean, Auto Week, Auto Sport, who the fuck said this?
Auto Week. The best driver in the world
Auto Week.
Making a fucking mistake, so it must be everybody else's fault.
Now,
Jesus Christ. You know what I do on a self-week every time? I take a fat shit and think about those limey fucking toads writing about F1.
Wait.
Fuck them. They don't know what the fuck they're fucking talking about. I have more intelligence in the shit and the piss that I took this morning. Fuck them. I yield the rest of my time to John.
Okay. So I'm going to throw it out there because I wanted to see the actual article, and I found another article by Auto Week.
Okay.
And the headline is F1 defends decision of standing restart in Azerbaijan.
Uh-huh.
It was fantastic.
They cherry picked this quote from Pierre Gasly. He said,
Yeah.
"The Americans took over, so I really wasn't surprised that the first thing is entertainment."
It's funny they cherry picked that in my article as well.
But then if you go on to read past the clickbait, it says, Gasly supports the decision. I must admit it was very intense, but I really enjoyed it. If anything, hopefully in the future they'll do the same thing.
Yep.
And then Sergio Perez agreed.
Well, of course he agreed. He's the one who won the race.
Perez? Yeah. Okay.
I'm being an asshole
you are,
for you, John.
You are being an asshole. But yeah, so there's a lot of people. The McLaren boss, Andreas Seidel, said that he said it was the correct decision. So I don't fucking understand why they're going at. I think if I had to
They're
guess,
being clickbait fucking TikTok, Instagram hoes.
They're pandering
thirst trap
to
fucking toads.
Yeah, he's right.
These fuckers have
you're
nothing
right.
They
to
are
report
thirst trapping.
But fuck,
and they have no content. Auto Week is fucking shallow and a husk of anything.
they're not.
They're like the woman of North Dakota, shallow and full of nothing.
We are not. We are not.
Fuck that. I will attack
Shut
Auto
up!
Week.
Shut up! Wait till I say what I'm going to say. I was going to say
No.
we are not shallow in clickbait. We are journalists and we are partial. But yeah, no, I think that it's stupid. I think it's definitely clickbaity. I have something to say.
Oh, please.
While we're on the train of Hamilton generally fucking things up.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Please.
This is straight from the F1 website.
Okay, that's credible.
Mercedes say that it is their, quote, duty
Oh, yeah. This is good. Yeah.
to give Hamilton a car where, quotes again, it is more difficult for him to make mistakes.
Greatest driver in the world.
Greatest.
You talked about this last podcast.
I did not. I texted this and I said I was going to talk about it on the next podcast.
Greatest driver in the world makes one mistake.
This was
And
Thursday at 9:33 a.m. is when
Which was 100% all his fault.
Yep. So here's the thing, Lewis, and people that are fans of Lewis. If you're going to sit on the internet, keyboard worrying, yeah.
Worrying, yeah. That's a word, I'm
yeah.
sure.
If you're going to sit behind your keyboard and come and tell me that Lewis Hamilton's the greatest F1 driver of all time, he's won 7 world championships, he's going to beat all the records, he's better than Schumacher and Senna and everybody else, Jim Clark, whatever the fuck, and you're going to come at me and tell me that he's the best that ever lived, then guess what? He shouldn't have to have a team build a car where he doesn't make mistakes. Because he's the best. That
It's
means
their
he's good at
duty
it.
to give him a car that is foolproof.
They shouldn't have to do that. They shouldn't have to pander to him and go, oh, we're sorry, we made you a car that's a little difficult. That's
They
bullshit.
should have to come out and defend themselves.
No.
He 100% pushed their brake magic button, and he left it the fuck on. That was 100% on him after he threw them under the bus in Monaco saying they sucked fucking ass.
You know what?
And then he comes back and he makes a mistake all on his own, and he's like, oh, yeah, we're sorry. We win as a team, we lose as a team. We'll all come back from this. We'll all be better.
So
It's bullshit.
yeah, it is bullshit. It's completely trash. And I don't understand this whole Lewis Hamilton parody where people that are fans of him can't see how fucking two-faced he is. He just is. When something goes wrong and he fucks it up, it's somehow the team's fault. And then, like, when the team fucks something up, genuinely, he throws them straight under the bus still. It's
Straight under the bus. It's 100% the team's fault that they didn't give him the car that he needed to be able to do the job that he needed. We've said it from day one on this podcast. Lewis Hamilton himself solely is a brand, and we hate Lewis Hamilton as a brand because all he does is try and save his own face and establish his own brand. It's nothing about the team. Unless he fucks up, it's about the team.
Yeah.
If the team fucks up, if they mess up a pit stop, if they call the wrong strategy and he loses the race that he could have won, 100% the team's fault. Nothing that he could have done, 100% on the team.
Yep. We win as a team, we lose as a team, as he likes to say.
Yeah, exactly. Until he loses as a team, and then it's all the team's fault.
Exactly. So
anyway,
that's my rant. It's one of the reasons why I regardless of what he's won, I can't stand him. I just cannot stand him. I will give him credit where it's due, but that article fucking riled me. It rattled me to the core. I was just like, the fuck? You shouldn't have to have your team go, no, we're sorry, Lewis. We'll make that button a little bit harder for you to finger fuck.
We're so sorry, Sir Lewis. We're so sorry.
Vince,
we'll make it easier for you.
Vince, stop typing shit into the chat.
This is an audio podcast. You drunk $500 bottle of tequila, motherfucker.
Stop doing it.
Anyway.
Do you want to say, do you have something to say? Because you can use your words.
Out your conversation.
Yeah, but anyway, why?
Let's stick, because he's drunk, let's stick on the fun, exact topic that is Mercedes. And we'll go on to our more favorite Mercedes driver currently. I read an article today
George Russell?
Contrary to our popular belief that Bottas has already been told that he's fucking out and we're never going to see him again as of next year, Bottas expects that to discuss his Mercedes future, quote, in the next month or so with the team, and says that no talks have been had so far.
Yeah, that's because they're not interested in keeping him.
How much do we believe that?
0. I mean, are you kidding me? Come on, man.
We said it last week. We think he's already been, the reason why he sucked fucking ass is we think he's already been told that he's out.
I think.
Yeah, I'll second that.
I think that he is trying to save some face.
And my follow-up point to this is right after, I think the day after that race, there were rumors from people inside F1, but I'll preface this by saying it's not technically credible because it hasn't come from a reputable source.
Yeah.
There were rumors already that George Russell 2-year contract has already been signed at Mercedes. And then I read an article today that, again, I will preface with not technically official or credible, but that George Russell is, again, from another source, is signed up with Lewis, and an announcement for an all-British team will come at the Silverstone GP in about a month's time.
I did hear that, and the not credible or less credible source that you're referring to is Sky Sports Italy.
Yeah.
Is apparently where that information
Italian media comes out with stuff early. Sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not. So that's where it's kind of iffy. But if you want to check off the big three, it is not on F1.com. It's not on Autosport. It's not on Motorsport. So, But F1 Media called. What did F1 Media call? They called Ocon going to Renault, I think.
Yep, they did.
Way back in the day, way before that happened. They've called a couple of things. They've gotten a couple of things right in the past. So we'll see when Silverstone rolls around in about a month.
So can we just get to predictions?
Wow.
No. So Haas.
No.
Another thing that I have from Haas, and I take this with whatever you want, but I think this is probably just a fucking feeder story, is Haas is, quote, always in the market for an American driver, says Gunther Steiner.
Well,
yeah, as much as he is in the market for another country to take over.
Well, I'm going to throw this one out here. I was watching IndyCar, like I previously stated, and I saw one Santino Ferrucci,
who has been Haas's test driver in the past.
Yeah, after he completely pissed away his career in Formula 2 by crashing into his teammate on a cooldown lap.
Exactly, yeah.
So, I looked it up because I saw him and I was like, wow, he's actually still doing shit. I can't believe they still let him drive cars.
Yeah, no, he still races, yeah.
But that being said, he was in the runnings in that IndyCar race, and he looked okay. I mean, he never really set the world on fire in Formula 2, never won a race,
No.
But he was only in there in a fucking, for a brief second.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. Like, they're in the market for an American driver. Is that to say maybe one... Well, Lacey doesn't race underneath an American. He's under the Brazilian flag.
No, but Juan Manuel Correa, he's an American. We all know he had that massive accident in 2019, but he's in F3 now.
Yeah.
The four people that they named, it's just guys, and there's nobody American in F2 right now. It's people that are in F3.
Mm-hmm.
So bare minimum it would be 2 years. But yeah, it's Logan Sargent, Kalen Frederick, Jack Crawford, and Juan Manuel Correa.
I think that
my money's on Logan Sargent.
Sargent is the front runner. He's the one that's doing the best in F3 right now. But Steiner says it's not as straightforward as just picking one of them for the future. Especially with them growing up in America, being American racers, they still have the option to go to IndyCar or NASCAR, and those hold some sort of weight, in their eyes as well, growing up as American drivers rather than European drivers. It's just in formula.
The marketing for Logan Sargent. I mean, his last name is Sargent.
Yeah, you're right. It would be a marketing,
Yeah, but I think
creamsicle, dude. I mean, it would be so fucking just-tastic to market Sargent the American. I
think it's fair of us to say, like, we're all Americans, obviously.
Yeah.
We all want to see an American driver in Formula One. I mean, if there was an American F1 driver, I'd buy a piece of gear.
The last American F1 driver was Alexander Rossi.
Like, I would have to support him.
100%.
Yeah, like...
That's why we support Haas, even though they suck fucking dick.
Right, because we're Americans, and that's what it's our duty.
We go to COTA every year, or at least two of us do, because we're Americans.
Potentially double header.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll make it for the second race, boys.
Maybe.
That's gonna get close to wedding time.
You almost didn't make it to this podcast.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I made it.
But I don't know. I think I think the real question is, why does Gunther Steiner feel the need to come out and say this? I feel like it's kind of obvious. Like, yeah, obviously the American team wants an American driver, and they're always open to that.
Right.
The story that I have that kind of ties into that is that there was a clarification on Mazepin's thing. Mazepin's.
His Russian mandatory military service.
Yes. So he's already doing something, because you either have to join the military or you have to be a specialist in something or whatever, and he's already doing that. So he doesn't even really have to go to the military.
Oh, so the article that we talked about last time that was just a fluff story and it was bullshit and we fell for it like everybody else did on the internet.
Yep, exactly.
Nice. I love journalism.
People want him out of there really badly, and we all latched on to the idea that it might actually happen.
Possibility that it may actually happen.
That somebody might get that seat that's maybe a little bit more deserving of being in Formula One, but no, it's bullshit, and I still don't think he's going to be in the team. I think he's still going to be out, which is why
I think you're right. I think he's going to have his 1 year. If he doesn't get pulled out early, like we talked about last podcast, gracefully because of his Russian military service, I think he'll end his stint at the end of next year anyway. And either that'll be because either Haas gets bought out by another American racing entity and they no longer need Uralkali and Dmitry Mazepin's money, or for whatever reason they secure some sort of other title sponsor, or wild third reason he still continues to sponsor the team without his fucking son in the team. I don't think that's going to come.
I don't think that's going to happen.
But, say Gene Haas wins the fucking Powerball and decides he wants to roll it all into his F1 team for the next 4 years. Maybe they continue without another title sponsor. Who knows?
We will find out here soon. Or maybe by the end of the year.
Anyway, that's all the newsy stuff that I have. You want to preview this shit-ass race?
Yeah, let's fucking go. It's going to be boring. There you go.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. So, Total Wolf says, "This is a team that is so strong. I am so angry, and we are going to transfer the anger into a positive force. We are warriors, and we are going to come back. Something, Fourth Reich, something. I'm going to take over the world."
All I heard was, "I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it." Fucking the Pointed Sisters.
Total Wolf is a cuck.
Total Wolf. Yeah, I bet you he is. I bet you he watches his wife have sex with other men.
And enjoys
For
it.
once in this
And he enjoys
podcast, I'm not the one saying the spicy shit.
Yeah, because you can't put a sentence together because you're dying on your $500 bottle of tequila.
No,
Oh no, I can put a sentence together.
Oh
I just
boy.
love listening to you take control, Braden.
So France obviously sucks balls. We've
It's
gone
terrible.
over this. It is.
Yeah.
It has the most runoff, which causes no fun because any driver, instead of facing any kind of consequences for running wide, they can just go on more harshly grooved pavement, which doesn't do anything.
It's a test
and
track.
then just
It's
rejoin the track
it's
and
a
have
test
no
track.
consequence.
It would
Yeah.
be a really shit test track if you could test your car straight into the wall. It's you can go off forever. There's no problems with it. You could fucking drive 100 yards in any direction, and you're not going to hit anything.
Guess what? It's all fucking pavement.
And you can't even get beached. You can't even go into the gravel.
There's just some squiggly lines where a track is
Oh,
supposed
no,
to be,
it's the
where you're
tires.
supposed to fall.
Oh, they're like sandpaper. They
It's
really
like
slow you down.
It's abrasive.
Yeah,
no,
bullshit.
bullshit.
It's as abrasive as Bill Cosby's fucking pickup lines. All right, I
Ooh.
mean,
God damn. Yeah, no, I don't like this race. I don't like this track. I don't.
fucking prediction time.
It's
Fuck
not a
this
good race. It's not a good track. It's a normal, quote unquote, track. So that's what Mercedes is trying to cling on to, saying, "Oh, we'll return to our dominance and we'll have a better weekend," and
Yeah, well,
yada yada yada. But places where we've thought that Mercedes are going to do fucking good, they haven't done good. So it really is still all a toss up at this point. I'm John Mulaney talking through burps right now.
Yep.
Oh, way.
All right. Vince wants to predict.
Jesus.
I'm ready to predict. I don't want to talk about this race.
Let's fucking predict then.
Braden, you lost.
I did lose. You're right. So that means I have the pleasure of going last.
Right. So, Vince.
Yeah, Vince won.
Vince won. Vince, you're up first.
All right, I'm gonna double down again and triple down, quadruple down. We'll predict a Hamilton victory.
Okay.
Okay.
Verstappen second.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Perez third.
Okay.
Okay. Like that.
Sainz fourth.
All right.
Norris fifth.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
20th. Mazepin. It's gonna crash out again.
What's he gonna crash into?
He'll find a way to take that car all the way into the wall.
He laps around and last a minute behind everybody.
Yeah, he'll find a way to fucking find a wall.
Okay.
Life finds a way, John. 19th. Who else is gonna crash out or fuck it up? Giovinazzi.
Okay.
Bold.
Latifi, Russell,
Wow.
Schumacher.
Schumacher has a day. Beating
Yeah,
out George
that's-
Russell.
That's bold.
That's bold as fuck.
And Alonso finishes 11th.
Okay. I guess I'm up next.
Yeah, that would be you, John.
Fuck. France is a test track. So,
Yes.
it's going to stress all the best parts of the car.
Yes.
If we really think that Red Bull has the better package, I think they're going to do really well here this year.
Yes.
So I'm going to go with the Verstappen win,
Uh-huh.
Hamilton second,
Uh-huh.
Perez third, Bottas fourth, and Norris fifth.
Okay.
I think the best cars are going to win out here. Bottom five. I'm going to go with no crashes because it's France.
It's a test track.
And you can't hit anything unless you hit another car. I'm going to go with Mazepin 20th, Latifi 19th, Schumacher 18th, 17th. Fuck. Who do I want to put there? Oh, I'm going to go Sonoda 17th, and then Russell 16th.
All right.
Alonso is going to come in 8th.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
All right.
Yeah.
So
What do you got?
I am on your kind of wavelength. I still think that the Red Bull is the better car. So I'm going to go Verstappen win, Hamilton second, Perez third, and then I'll go Norris fourth and Leclerc fifth.
Wow.
The Ferrari has been good here in the past.
No faith
Kimi
in
Räikkönen.
Bottas.
Kimi Räikkönen came third in the Ferrari in 2018, and then Charles Leclerc came in third in the Ferrari in 2019. I don't think it's as good as the Red Bull because they weren't on the same playing field those years ago. But yeah, so Verstappen, Hamilton, Perez, Norris, Leclerc.
Okay.
Bottom five, Mazepin, Schumacher, Latifi, Russell, Alonso. That's going to round up my bottom five and give me my Alonso bogey because he has not been good here at this track.
All right, so you flew through that. Mazepin, Schumacher, Latifi?
Yeah, Mazepin,
Russell,
Schumacher,
Alonso.
Latifi, Russell, Alonso.
Okay. And Alonso is your 16th.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well,
It's going to be on my TV. Whether or not I'm going to be on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or something or other while watching the race, that's probably going to be likely. Am I going to pay the most attention to it? Probably not, unless somebody crashes out and there's multiple red flags, but I doubt that.
yep. I'm going to. It'll be on. I'll be here.
It'll be on.
I'll be
now,
wide awake and jacked up on caffeine.
I gotta look at this really quickly because I have to know France. Ugh. At least we get Austria after this.
Yeah, Austria twice. Well, we get Syria after this, and then Austria.
Oh yeah, I mean, whatever. We get a
Whatever.
better race than
Yeah,
fucking
exactly.
France.
You're looking up the time of the
Oh.
race. I'm also looking up the time of the race. France, the race is at 8 a.m. for me, so it's 6 a.m. for you.
Fuck.
That means you got to get up at 5:30. That's one that you're not getting up for. You're doing your patented John. If nothing happens within 5 minutes, or the first 5 laps, I'm going to sleep.
Well, saying that we're Americans and we do American things, qualifying's at 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. And
Yeah.
on Saturday, I'm going to get my concealed carry permit for my pistol.
Oi, oi.
Yeah, America. So
Too bad your state ain't constitutional carry, bitch.
what?
One more time.
What was that?
Constitutional carry. You don't need a license.
Well, yeah, I can open carry without a license.
Yeah.
I can't conceal carry without a license, which is why I'm doing it. But if I do this course on Saturday, which I've already paid for, so I am doing it.
Right.
I can conceal carry in 36 states.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I don't have to do a background check when I buy a gun. I can just go into a gun store and show them my concealed carry permit because I have to pass a background to get the concealed carry. So
Right.
if I pass that, then I'm good.
So you can pass a background check, get your concealed carry, murder a bunch of people, and get an insane mental disorder. But as long as you got your concealed carry, you can still get whatever kind of gun you want in this freedom land.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah.
So I'm doing that, and if I want to watch qualifying before like 5 p.m., I'm gonna have to watch it that morning before I go to that class.
Yeah, that's true. That's an all day thing. Yeah, I've looked it up here in Texas.
Yeah, it's like 9 to 5.
Yeah.
But we will watch it, and we will have to be back here in about a week to review it and then talk about
To review and preview, because we've got a triple header, so we'll have punishments 3 weeks in a row.
bang, bang, bang. We're gonna be all over it. I know Vince is so excited because he almost
Vince.
didn't even almost make this one.
Stock up.
Let me see. Before the podcast started, I alluded to something.
Oh yeah.
This is usually the part of the time where I get Braden to plug a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah.
And then I say, if you're interested in us making a Patreon, let us know.
You son of a bitch.
I have literally today set up a Patreon.
Nice.
For this podcast. So, if you want our general rantings and ravings, even in more detail, where we just sit and we talk about all sorts of things, which is, I'll be honest, very interesting. Vince had a story about his weekend last weekend, which was very eventful.
I recorded that story.
I did not. So you're the only one with that evidence. If you want to hear things, if you want to hear things like that, where we all have our stories about our general everyday lives, or
more non F1 stuff. We do non F1 stuff a little bit throughout the podcast, but this is full on talking about our lives, talking about what we did over the weekend, talking about things we have coming up in the future.
Yeah, we usually bullshit from anywhere from half an hour to like 45 minutes before every podcast.
Yeah.
And some of it is actually extremely entertaining. So
hilarious.
If you want to support the podcast,
usually involves me.
Yeah, usually it does involve Vince. If you do want to support the podcast, if you want access to that extra podcast where we just kind of talk about everything, you can subscribe for as little as $1 a month, and you'll get access to it.
Because we'll do the 3 leg 4 wheels. You can subscribe from as little as £1, €1, $1, or €1 a month.
Which, if you're smart, you'll do $1 because it's the least amount of money that you'll have to pay.
Right, exactly.
Wait, so this is actually real?
It's real. I made it. I swear to God.
It's real. Send the link out.
And if you want, I made it even easier. It's patreon.com/SGSB. That's it.
Perfect.
So
easy.
And not only that, but I'm gonna give you access to the login, Braden, which is just through the email, and you can link the YouTube to it and all that. So,
Perf.
Yep. So it'll all be there. You can check it out. We might throw the podcasts up there too, so you can listen to it through Patreon if you want. But yep, it's a real thing. I finally did it. Stuff's happening.
Stuff is happening. We are moving forward now that we all have relatively stable, steady jobs where we've recorded. I mean, I don't want to fucking jinx it. I'll find some wood that I can knock on, like on the same general day at the same general time, multiple weeks in a row. So we're getting there. I think we might get through a whole goddamn season, God willing.
We might actually do it this year, especially since the recording rig is much more portable than it has ever been before.
Yes.
Yeah. If you want to get in contact with us, you can go to what's our Twitter handle?
Twitter is Slammin' Gears F1. We have a Patreon now, patreon.com/SGSB. Subscribe from as little as $1, £1, or €1 a month. Our YouTube for the video version of the podcast is SGSB F1 Podcast. And then if you're old school like Vince, you want to send us an email, tell us about anything, life updates, F1 stuff, slamming gears, shifting beers at gmail.com.
Sweet. Yeah, that's all I've got.
Smirnoff, if you want to get in touch with us, you can email us at slamminggears, at gmail.com.
Or you can support
G's and slamming and shifting. You can hit us up on DM us on Twitter. We do drink one of your zesty beverages every review podcast as well.
I drank one of your zesty beverages earlier today.
If we can just get a free sixer, I'll S your D. So
look,
whatever we need to do for a free Smirnoff. What up, Bean?
No, Smirnoff. Slide into our DMs. I want to feel special.
We'll talk. We'll chat.
Yep. Or you can
feel special.
Or you can support us on Patreon because
you can support us on Patreon.
We have one of those now.
Slide into our DMs. Let me feel like a sexy lady.
That'll go towards podcast hosting. We've been thinking about experimenting with different, since we are all in different states, experimenting with different recording software and websites and mics and all that stuff. That'll all go directly towards that. So.
Yep, and like my snazzy new headset.
Yeah.
I had to buy a microphone this year. I had to buy a mixer. All that stuff helps. Even though it doesn't seem like a lot, we appreciate it greatly.
We do.
Wait, has anyone donated?
No, I literally made it.
Just set it up.
5 minutes before we started recording while you were telling your story.
See ya at the end of next week.
We'll talk to you later.
Let's get Vince to bed, all right?
Bye.
Until next time.
I'm John.
I'm Vince.
I'm Braden.
All right. Catch you later.
See you later. Hasta mañana, amigos.
Bye.
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 Bye. See ya.
See you.